there. I hope you all are doing well. I just wanted to put together this video to thank each and every one of you for helping this community get to 300 subscribers. It's so crazy to me that one day I was just sitting back thinking, I think I want to start a YouTube channel, you know, just for other homeschooling moms to get familiar with curriculum and just have a community where we can talk and I can put out information that I'm aware of now, just because I've only been doing this for 2 years. And when I first started, I was so nervous about this. You know, this is not just some little decision. This is a huge decision having to do with where your children are going to go in their education and just in their life journey. So this decision is not really to take lightly. As most of you guys know, you guys are either homeschooling moms already, or maybe you guys are thinking about homeschooling and you're really nervous about it. You know, it's always really good when you're thinking about such a huge decision to really weigh out the pros and cons. Everybody is so different. You know, one thing that may work for myself and my family and my children may be completely different for you guys. You know, everything just kind of depends on pretty much everything in your life, if that makes any sense. So I just wanted to get on here and kind of tell you a little bit about myself and my journey with my daughter with this homeschool decision, and just kind of let you guys know why we chose to homeschool. My daughter now is in 2nd grade and she's 8 years old, and like I said, this is our 2nd year. We only did 1st and 2nd grade, and we've been using Abeka. I love Abeka. I love everything pretty much, well, I love pretty much everything about it. It's just a really solid curriculum. You know, when you're doing Abeka, you're getting everything that your child needs. Even though you can do it yourself, it's just like a security blanket. That's at least how I feel. Now, I definitely am not a professional at this. I am just a homeschooling mom, just like you guys. Like I said, we decided to homeschool my daughter 2 years ago. Now, stepping back a little bit further, when she was 4, I started homeschooling her. Pre-K stuff. So not really homeschool, but I was teaching her. Myself and my sister started teaching my daughter and her youngest daughter, as her older daughter was already in school. So my decision was to put my daughter in a private school. It was a Christian private school that my niece had gone to. And so with this private school, they kind of test your child before you get into the school. So they needed to know their alphabet. They needed to count 1 through 30. I think they needed to write 1 through 20. They needed to know their vowels. They needed to know their shapes and colors. And so they ran them through these tests just to make sure that they were ready for their kindergarten class. Now, I absolutely fell in love with teaching my daughter. She was just such a joy to teach. She loved learning. She had so much fun. Oh, I just loved it. Okay, so while I was teaching her, I was kind of going through my mind, like fighting myself back and forth, like I don't want to send her to school, I want to teach her. But really, that was just a thought of mine. I really didn't think that maybe I could do it. I don't know, I kind of just went back and forth. My family wasn't completely on board about it with that point, and then I would beat myself up, like, what if she's not socialized? What are people gonna think? You know, who's gonna judge? Like, all the things that you typically would think about. So when it was time for enrollment for the private school kindergarten, myself and my husband enrolled her in it and signed her up, got her ready, and off she went to kindergarten. I loved her teacher. I loved that she was making friends. She was excelling. I loved how much she learned in kindergarten. I was very surprised. So I remember when I was younger in public school, we didn't start learning how to spell until 1st grade. So I was just really, really, really impressed on what she was learning. And then they had chapel and they got to worship, and I loved the school. I am not gonna lie, okay? Now there were certain things about the school that did not make me happy, and I won't even go into that because it doesn't matter. But so I loved it. But as you all know, with what is going on in the world, and this is just my opinion, some other mothers or families may not feel this way, but I just did not feel comfortable enough to send her back to first grade. I just couldn't, the not knowing, the anxiety of feeling that I couldn't do anything if something were to happen, just, you know, all those things played into this. Now, my decision when I did decide to homeschool, it helped so much because my sister started the same journey with me. Her daughter that was in the private school already, she actually took her out as well. And so we just started this journey together, which makes it so much easier. I feel very blessed that that is how both of our lives worked out for our children together. Now, the reason we went with Abeka is because the private school that our kids were in, they were actually teaching them with the Abeka curriculum. And I just felt like, you know, my daughter was already learning how to read the same way that Abeka teaches. And then I found out that they have these videos and that they're real teachers teaching them. And it just made me feel so much better. So that is what made us decide on going with Abeka. Now, I did look around a little bit at different curriculums, but honestly, I had no idea what I was doing. And I still kind of don't know what I'm doing, but I do. You know what I'm saying? For you homeschooling moms that have been homeschooling for like 8 years or something, you're probably thinking, this chick does not know what she's doing after 2 years. But I really, truly feel a growth in me that I do have an idea of what I'm doing now. So anyways, all of first grade we did Abeka strictly, just Abeka. We did not have a co-op. We did not go to a charter school, nothing like that. It was strictly Abeka. And I was really nervous about her missing this and missing that. And yes, so first grade ends, we start second grade. Second grade, I go into it just confident, knowing what I was doing, knowing what the curriculum was about, knowing how to grade. Now, I have tweaked a lot of things with the different subjects, and I do have a video that I will link down below if you want to check it out, to kind of how I did little tweaks here and there just to make it more of, you know, our homeschool. And second grade, she's actually involved in a co-op, which is really awesome. They do science, they do phonics, and they do PE and like a movement class, which is pretty cool for her. She loves it. She loves science. And we are still working through Abeka's too. So yes, I still get nervous. I'm really, really working on it. I've been praying on it and asking God to help me, and I've been doing better though. But so next year will be a whole new journey for us because I have ideas on what I want to do with the curriculum, and I may make a little bit of changes here and there. You know, I'm a very hands-on person and I like to be involved. And right now I'm teaching my nephew pre-K. He will be going off to school. I won't have him for kindergarten. He'll be off at a different school without me. But I do have a 3-year-old, and by the time my nephew is off to school, then I will be teaching my son, as well as my daughter. Now, I have actually, you guys are gonna think I'm crazy now. My daughter has a co-op on Tuesdays, like I said, and I wanted to start teaching my daughter and my nieces a co-op. So 2 times out of the month, we meet together after their first co-op on Tuesdays, and we do co-op together. Right now, I'm working them through like around the world. So our first unit study was Australia. I chose Australia just because of the devastation that they're going through right now with the fires and the animals and things like that. So I've been working through that with them. If you guys are at all interested in seeing how I put together like a little unit study, now it is not perfect, but it is pretty awesome, and it gives us time for me to teach them instead of the videos, and us to be together as a little unit, and I'm super excited about it. I actually love it. So that's kind of what I've been doing, on top of teaching, you know, my daughter half, because the videos teacher too, and then teaching my pre-K nephew and my son. I love it. He's getting to the age where he's actually wanting to learn as well with my nephew. I thought that day was never coming, guys. He's so rambunctious and just everywhere and adventurous, but now he's starting to actually want to sit down and do stuff with us, which I love, because I'm not the type that's going to make him at 3 sit down and do preschool work. I feel like with kids, they kind of tell you when they're ready. I mean, obviously they're not going to want to sit down and like learn. So I try to make I try to make learning fun for the little youngsters. And yeah, so that is basically where we are at as a homeschooling family. So I just wanted to kind of let you guys know where we're at, see who out there is, I don't know, in the same boat as me, or if you're feeling some kind of way, if you're starting off and you're nervous, it'll get better. It'll get easier. I'm talking about, being familiar with things and just comfortable with the teaching and the unit studies and, tweaking things. And that's what I mean. I don't know if it'll ever get easier as far as like every day's gonna be just wonderful. Your kids are gonna listen. It's just gonna go perfectly. I don't think there's a such thing in homeschool, but that's just like with anything. But I love it. Even on our bad days, I just pray. If I didn't have Jesus, I think I'd go crazy on some of these days. But I do truly love homeschooling. Like you get more time with your kids, you get to help them, you get to teach them in a way that they learn better. There's just so many pros to it. There are some cons maybe for some of you out there. For me, not too many. Totally is like a way down here on the scale. But yeah, so anyways, I just wanted to let you guys know where our journey is and where we've been. And yeah, see, if any of you guys find comfort in knowing that there's hope and you'll do just fine. Please comment down below if this is your first year, if you're just starting off, how long you've been doing it. If you're like a pro at this, comment down below if you have any tips for me. That would be awesome, because I definitely need as many tips as I can get, as we all do, So anyways, you guys, thanks for checking out this channel, and don't forget to comment. I want to hear from you guys. So be blessed always, and I'll see you in the next video.